oh something wrong. Code 404.
Okay, so everybody should be on this website.
Nah, mine says oh something went wrong. Code.
Okay, then you typed it wrong. People, this is something we work on every day. I shouldn't have to write on the board how to spell VSPQR.US. Okay, this is disappointing and frustrating. We work on this every day. You need to get your brains engaged. I'm just talking about Las Vegas because I know you don't do this in California, but we work on this project every day. Here, if your brain hears something that sounds like the SPQR.US, you should immediately say, oh, that sounds like the SPQR.US. That's where I need to go. Not, how do you spell it?
Okay.
Who is not there? Brian, you there?
Yeah.
Jay? Please, if you spelled it wrong, don't say you spelled it wrong. You're just trying to give me an ulcer or something. Just remember, it's like PQRS. Huh? Right. It's like the alphabet. Okay, now, here's the exercise I want everybody to do. We're going to drag that down to the bookmarks bar. Okay? So how do we do that, Victoria? How do we save that to the bookmarks bar, Victoria? Are you there, Victoria?
Go ahead, Ed. I had to unmute the mic.
Oh, okay. All right. So, Victoria, how do we drag or how do we get the SPQR site saved on our bookmarks bar?
Got it over there, guys?
Okay, so what you do is your page should look like this page. If it does, then highlight this, select that. That means it should be all in blue. And then simply drag it down to, just drag it down to your bookmarks bar like that. Okay?
Highlight.
So that should be on your bookmarks bar. And the thing is, you can drag it anywhere you want on your bookmarks bar.
You drag something to the bottom?
What?
If you're putting something can you drag something to the bottom?
No, that's your taskbar.
I got it on right now.
Okay, now let's do it again. Does everybody know how to do that? Because we're going to do it again, but with something different.
Okay, I'm going to have to take something off.
So we are going to do it with the obligation.
Am I typing it in?
Check that money all over the cold.
The omnibus. Hit the space bar and the whole thing is deleted. Hit the space
Doesn't matter if it's full.
Just hit the
Okay.
space bar.
Okay, so the next one, everybody, please type in
Type in the obligation.
the obligation dot s and then hit enter.
Obligation, I got that right there.
Okay, so this is another Las Vegas project that students work on every day. And in the social media side, we are getting 2, 3, 4 people following us every day on this. So this is the practical application. This is the practical application of what we learn in school. Okay, so stuff like this we're talking about right now, this afternoon, we work on these. So you learn how to use Facebook, Twitter,
It's like a,
Google Communities, Google Plus,
Put it where.
and do research. Okay, so
that's the thing.
we do the same thing, drag it to the bookmarks bar. Now once you have it, select it and bring it down to the bookmarks bar.
Write it down.
Uh-huh.
Okay, another thing you might have there is Wikipedia.
Don't see it. Okay.
You could have the school's website there or the school catalog.
Okay, so delete that.
Delete what?
There.
That's it.
The idea about the bookmark, and so when you go to work,
No, he's just saying when you go.
you could have your map
Okay.
there.
Already got it.
Okay, your personal map. So when you go to work, you should have a map, right? You should create a map at your employer's office, and you can have different layers. Here's our customers, here's our competitors, here's our prospects, and that should be on your bookmarks bar, that map. On your 9-square grid, what do you have in terms of maps?
Personal.
Now, on your 9-square grid, it takes you to Google Maps. Yeah, put the obligation on also. Okay, so what did I just say, Otis?
Put the obligation on.
No, before that.
Oh, on your your map should be on your 9.
Okay, right. So now let's fast forward. We're at work. We're at our work environment. We want to customize our bookmarks bar. So an important thing to have on your bookmarks bar is your map, your work map, your business map, the map you created for the business that has customers, vendors, maybe competitors there. Make it, because it'll be a quick place to do reference, because we can add notes to every push pin on the map. And we can have videos, we can have a lot of things. Things that we picture, it's easier to remember. Most people, it's easy to remember things they see. They remember movies they saw. One reason Tiger Todd does movies is because it's easy for people to remember movies. It's a lot easier than what you read. Why?
Because
it's visual.
Well, it is visual, but so is a book. In order to read the book.
I know, you're not only getting the word, you're getting,
Okay, Otis.
Is it
you're sharing it and seeing it.
Okay, well, we practice watching a lot more than we read. So our brains, we have probably a stronger neural network regarding movies than we do books, because we practice watching things on TV or movies more often. Okay, Otis, what is your idea?
optic memory print?
Okay, whatever that means, optic memory print. So I think that's true.
Yeah, but you just,
Okay, so the other thing is, very simply, when you're watching a movie, there's a lot more data going in your brain, right? There's colors, there's motion, there's audio, in more of your senses. In reading, it's really just your eyes, unless, like some people, you have to speak as you read, so you hear yourself reading. Okay, but that isn't a good way to learn to read, because you can't go fast if you have to see it and then hear yourself say it. Yes, Otis.
One of the memory tricks that I was asking about this morning.
Yeah.
I call. I tell the story.
Hurry up, hurry up.
I use my submodalities.
What?
You put the bits
I
on
use
your-
my submodalities.
I don't know what that means. Selmadelics.
Submodalities or submodels.
Okay.
I'm telling the story and I'm hearing it and I'm.
I see. Okay. So, on your bookmarks bar. So we're really, let's go back and focus
We
on
should put the
bookmarks
bits on
bar.
there too,
You
then,
put
right?
the stuff on there that you use all the time.
So the bits would be on there too then.
The Abyss, people, the Abyss would
Yeah.
be on there, that community could be on there, right. Okay, now for work, so you'd have your map on there. We talked about that, right? You have your map. What about maybe your employee manual? How about here have the memorization book on there? It's stored on the folder. So you want to put in your bookmarks bar the things that you look at regularly and often. If you work in a place where they encourage people to read Bibles, you can have your online version of the Bible on your bookmarks bar to make it easy to get to. Probably they don't do that. On your personal bookmarks bar, you might want to have a audio site that you go to download music. If your business has to do with Netflix or movies, you would put Netflix on your bookmarks bar. I have TED Talks on my bookmarks bar. Everybody should put TED Talks on their bookmarks bar here. Okay, why?
Is this something we review every week?
We do. We review it all the time, but it could be important for your white paper and or the quiz, just to make it easy to get there. Now, what is the problem when you put things on your bookmarks bar?
It fills up.
No, because it'll just keep adding. It'll just be over here.
You showed me. It's on the side, the little arrow.
Right. You can just click on the arrows on the side and have a lot of them. What's the problem with having things on your bookmarks bar? No, you don't run out of room. It doesn't show, but you can click on the button over to the right of that, a little double arrow or something, and it will come up with all of the rest of them. You can scroll down to eternity. The problem with putting things in your bookmarks bar goes back to our fundamental thing, memory. If you have to type in tedtalks.com or the spqr.us every day, pretty soon or at some point in time you're going to remember that address, right? If it's in your bookmarks bar and somebody says go to the spqr.us website, you're going to say, how do I get there? What's the address? Because you won't remember it's the spqr.us, right?
It just goes to, okay.
So a thing you just, the thing that when you put things on your bookmarks bar, you don't have to remember them, which is okay if you use Chrome everywhere, because as Steve Dotto said, one of the great things about Chrome is you can sync it to all of your machines. Whenever you go to a machine, if you log on in Chrome, it will ask you, do you want to import your bookmarks bar and all of your stuff? You say yeah, and then you're in good shape. Okay, but the only problem, and it's a slight problem, is if you put something on your bookmarks bar, you don't have to remember it anymore. Now that should be a good thing. You shouldn't have to remember things you don't need to remember. Okay, so we've got a couple minutes left before we end this. Are there any questions in California?
No, Ed, fine.
Okay, so here's the thing to remember, going back to what we talked about on Monday. Google Chrome is the doorway to the internet. Okay, it's the browser. Your browser is the doorway to the internet. You can't be on a computer and get to the internet without going through a browser. Now, technically you can, but that's way beyond this class. Okay, and it doesn't make any sense to do it anyway. But, so just accept it as you can't get there without walking through the door. There's a lot of different doors you can walk through to get to the internet. One is called Internet Explorer, another one's called Safari, another one's called Firefox. There's a whole bunch of them. One is called Chrome. I want you to always walk through the door that says Chrome. Now I'm speaking as your coach. Walk through the door that says Chrome. That's the best door to walk through. And if you continue to keep your Chrome updated, anywhere you walk through that door, you have all of your tools there with you. Okay? And that will impress people. Yes, Anita?
What about when you use that eraser? Someone was gonna erase all my things yesterday, didn't have a clue what they were gonna erase really.
Okay, so that's a good question. What does the eraser erase?
History.
History, right. It erases your history. That's all it erases.
Cookies?
Huh?
I remember before the history, you used to have to go to your cookies and erase.
Before you had that app? Before the eraser app?
Yeah.
Correct. What that does is it automates that. Yes, Jay?
Should we have our adversity deal on that?
Okay, so that's another thing to have on there for here in Nevada is your adversity paper. If you're doing it in Word, if you're doing it in, not Word, if you're doing it in, say, somebody should have said, huh, what? If you're doing it in Google Docs, that should be on your bookmarks bar. So we've got the obligation,
resume would be a good one to have on there.
SPQR. If you're doing your resume in Docs, SPQR, the obligation, the book, memory book, remember this, your paper,
White paper.
not your white paper, your adversity paper. Another thing to have on there is Marcus Aurelius Meditations. Okay? That should be another thing to have on your bookmarks bar. And then any other things that you look at regularly. So students in California, if you have any of your medical terminology stuff for the class that you do in Word or Google Docs, that would be something to put on your bookmarks bar. In fact, Crystal, how many pages is the MCP book binder?
It is probably close to 1,000 pages, maybe.
Yeah, so anybody that wants to take MCP, you have to be committed. Nothing. It doesn't matter. I'll tell you after break. Okay, so at some point we should probably put that on Google Docs.
Okay.
And then everybody can have it on their bookmarks bar just as a reference thing. Maybe your successor, your daily successor. Now everybody knows you're not really leaving, right, Crystal?
I just informed them today about me staying on as the consultant, I guess you can say, for the MCP.
The instructor of record?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so unless there's anything else, I noticed the clock, it's time to end this week with Google Chrome. When in doubt, everyone, just go to YouTube and look at some of these videos, or if you subscribe to the Larson channel, Larson Training Center's YouTube channel, we have all of these playlists for every one of these Google apps. And I think there's about 18 videos in Google Chrome, including all of these classes, the video of all of these classes. So if you ever want a good laugh, go back and watch those.
I watch them all the time.
Okay, good. All right. So thank you, California. I know it's your Friday, and I'm not sure what we start with on Monday, but we'll be, I think we'll go back to employment planning workshop on Monday. We have a job fair on Thursday and Friday with the downtown project here. And yesterday I was at a trade fair for the Workforce Connections. They're going to come here hopefully next week. They will be here to talk to us. So that would be a good experience, at 10 o'clock. That would be a good experience for everybody in California also. So you'll be able to ask them questions. Here, the Workforce Connections, the One Stop here is very proactive regarding getting people jobs. And so they'll come in and talk about interviewing and other things and things that they do to help get jobs for people. And maybe they do it in California, and maybe you can talk to your caseworkers about it in California. Okay, everyone? Thank you for being there and here. Thank you, Jamie, for your input. Thank you, Victoria. And Fernando, I didn't hear you say anything.
I'm still a little jet lagged.
Okay, good. Well, we're anxious to see more of your cooking stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Bye, everyone. See you on Monday.
Bye.
Bye, Ed.